Coach Finidi George has been employed, or better still, appointed as the head coach of the Super Eagles. But five key things are missing. Number one, the length of his contract. Number two, the date of resumption. Number three, his contract with Aimba Football Club. And number four is assistance. That has also not been given attention to. And finally, what are the targets for the new coach of the Super Eagles? A fantastic Tuesday afternoon, wet, I must say, in the nation's capital. My name is Franklin Imona, the one you know as the fine boy. The sports chef loves talking sports and dishing it hot and spicy right from the nation's capital and beyond. Today on the show, it promises to be exciting, but come on, you know how it is. I am not alone in the studio. I've got my partner, and together we will be driving you slow and steady on the Sport Show this evening.
Okay, guys, Abuja, you know how these things are done. It's very simple. This is where we talk all things sport all day long. Okay, apart from Finidi George and these issues, we go straight to the Champions League again. Bayern Munich and Madrid are in action. A repeat of this a clash that so many years, has brought so many watering moments in the Champions League. So looking at that as well on the show, and of course every other sport, tennis, basketball, the NBA, the playoffs is on, and I tell you, the boys have been separated from the men.
Absolutely. And on the show, just like you said, if time permits, we will be talking every other sport aside football. So get your seatbelt strapped on as well as your sport helmet on, because it promises to be a jolly good ride. Don't touch your dial. Let's go on this breather. When we return, we will be moving straight into the local scene. But just so you know, we are currently streaming live on our YouTube channel. Do well and rush to our YouTube page. The address is a Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja, VOP 961 FM Abuja. And when you do find it, do well to like, share, comment, and and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And voila, you will be part of this Spotty family. And just so you know, we are currently streaming live on Radio Garden. So anywhere you are in any part of the world, be rest assured that you will get our signal clear and sound. And of course, you can do well to share the link as well to your loved ones that are not here in Abuja. Quickly go to Google Play Store or your iOS App Store, download Radio Garden and search for VOP 96.1 Abuja, and you will be connected to us. And also, this is the show where we get to also invite you to talk to us on the studio line 070 0010 961 070 0010 What's the topic this evening? Are you comfortable with the appointment of Coach Finidi George despite no contract has been signed? Do you think that the NFF have set him up for failure? Let's know your thought. And also, it is the night of the UEFA Champions League where Bayern Munich will welcome the most successful team in the history of the Champions League, Real Madrid, at the Allianz Arena. Who do you think will draw first blood? Let's know your thoughts on 070 0010 961 The phone line is officially open. You can start sending your messages. You can start sending in your WhatsApp voice note as well as a phone call. We will start taking that. But let's go on this breather. When we return, it will be game on. All right, welcome back to the show, and straight away we will delve into the show. Sport Bishop, where should we start from?
A lot happened, I tell you, in the world of sports. But let's start from the most important thing, which is the Super Eagles coach. We know during the show yesterday, news broke in that the NFF has confirmed that Coach Finidi George as the man to take charge of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And we did announce that, but right now there are a lot of, like you said, like you mentioned in your introduction, a lot of fallout from that appointment. Where we're going from here. The details of that appointment still lacking on the deck.
Let's take it one point at a time.
Okay.
We did talk about the duration of the contract. No proper announcement ought to be made in a sane clan of football without the length of contract. That is the duration.
Yeah.
Is it a 6-month contract? Is it a 1-year contract? Is it a 5-year contract? We hear that the NFF just made this announcement and there was no proper detail of the duration of the contract. Do you think this is proper?
According to a friend of the house, BSN, Nate Busari, he did had an interview with one of the members of the NFF who pleaded animosity. He said, as they speak to contract negotiation has been done.
Wow.
That he will be invited to the NFF to discuss, first, like you said, the duration of his contract, to discuss the amount he'll be paid, to discuss also who will be his assistant coach, the targets and everything. And I'm surprised. Then why do you announce?
Go ahead to do that.
To announce a coach when you haven't even had a tete-a-tete with this man. Don't forget, this man is under contract with Eyimba of Aba.
We are even coming to that, taking us to our second point.
Exactly.
His role with Eyimba Football Club.
Exactly. So there are a lot of questions and answers in this appointment. We're quite happy that we finally decided, like I did say yesterday.
After 6 weeks.
Exactly, that he will be the man to tinker the affairs of the Super Eagles. But the question is, come on, the details are a bit shabby. We looked at other senior clients where we had Otto Addo, we know how many years contract he'll be
Yeah, of course.
What is like to be his take home, who are his assistant coach, what are the targets for him. But we seem not to know that for Finidi job. How many years is that contract? Is it a 1-year contract, 2-year contract, is it 3 months contract? Okay, when is he resuming his job? Is it as early as next month
Today or this evening or when?
When is the expiration date of the contract? We talk about the targets, his assistant coach. And you've not discussed all this, and you go out there to announce. What if there's some glitch, there's some glitches in the conversation? How do you come back to tell Nigerians that, due to contract issues...
Scratch the appointment of Coach Finidi George. We are going to start all over to get a new one.
It tells you how we run sports in Nigeria, and that's why I asked this question. In other climes, a new coach appointed, there should be a press conference.
Of course.
And the press should be able to have a sit down with not only the NFF,
but also the new coach as well.
And ask questions. Okay, welcome to the job. Thank you very much. What are your plans? What are your plans for the fringe players? What are your plans
for the local players, for the foreign players?
These are the questions we should be asking. What are your targets? What should we expect? Is there any philosophy you're bringing to the table? A lot of questions to be asked, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Again, in Nigeria, we take the back road. The back door to answer all issues, and then this is where we are.
Sport Bishop, let me also ask you this. Now, the appointment of assistant coaches, is it the job of the federation, that is the NFF, or the coach himself to select the assistant coaches? He will work with assistant coach 1, assistant coach 2, goalkeeper trainer, match readers, a psychologist. We know that the team doctors is for the federation, but come on, these are sensitive positions. What if the federation do appoint an assistant and the assistant does not flow in sync in terms of philosophy and tacticality with the head coach? What happened? We hear that the NFF has shortlisted 3 coaches, Coach Emmanuel Amunike, Coach Daniel Mokachi, and of course Coach Michael Ensien in the UK. These are the 3 guys that the NFF have shortlisted, and Coach Finidi George has no say. He does not.
He does, because like I said, we did hear from someone from the NFF, and they said he would discuss his assistant coach. So means he should have a say. I think the bulk of who should be the assistant coach should be on the manager. He should be able to know. He should be able to know who he is able to work with. Like I said, I was so fracked when we heard about the news where Amunike and him were working together, and I said something about the clash of egos. I said about a clash of interest. And these are 2 quality managers trying to work hand in hand. They can't 2 work together if they don't agree. That's what the good book says. So for me, I think it's the prerequisite of the coach to make the decision of who he wants to work with. But like I said, the NFF can have an input, but he has to have the final say, and that's why they have to have this discussion before the announcement. But fortunately, in Nigeria, we have the announcement before the discussion.
Wow.
And that's really sad, I tell you, coming from the NFF. But it is what it is. By now, they've not told us we have appointed Finidi George on a 4-year contract. He will be in charge. He resumes so, expires so. He's a assistant coach. A full detail. If you don't want to give us a press conference, then give us something to churn out. But So maybe they were under pressure to announce a manager as quickly as possible.
This is what happened, Sport Bishop. This is what happened with local coaches. They tend not to respect them enough, and you see most of our local coaches are too quick to accept this kind of contract.
I listened to Tony Bitoye, the former media officer of the NFF, and he did say something that the Finidi judge should be in as high as 30 to 40 million naira. And I asked who will pay that money. Because it should be true, because there are a lot of things that needs to be done. I don't think the NFF will get to match traders. The ones that can just give assistant coaches and a coach.
And from that money, you pay them.
Exactly. You need to see, football has gone beyond what you think. It's now gone technological. It's
scientific.
Exactly. And you need to get your fitness trainer, your set piece trainer.
Of course.
There's so many trainers. Attacking trainer. We saw my United got in Benny McCarthy.
Of course.
The attacking.
We saw Arsenal with Peter Cech, a goalkeeper trainer.
Absolutely. We saw the set piece coach who's done fantastic work with Arsenal. And we could see what they have done for Arsenal this season. They have become the team who have
set piece merchant.
Exactly. So a lot of things, it goes beyond what Finidi can do. And like I said, this discussion should have been done and dusted before his appointment. But again, the Nigerian factor, really sad for our football.
Sport Bishop. Now, let me put you on the spotlight. Do you think that the NFF has appointed Coach Finidi George to set him up for failure?
Come on, I don't think so. No NFF will want to fail. Whether it's a quick...
But they haven't done the right thing.
It's visible to the blind and not able to the deaf. They haven't done the right thing. But I don't think NFF will set anybody to fail. If they do, if Finidi George fails, it means the NFF has failed. People will not only come for Finidi George, they will come for them as well and let them know that they made a wrong appointment. Don't forget, before the appointment of Finidi George, there were a lot of questions about who would be the man who would take up the helm of affairs. There was a lot of names on the banner, including a certain Emmanuel Amunike. But Finidi George has been appointed, and just rally around him, support him. But come on, you don't appoint a manager this way. There are better ways to do so. We saw Ghana do it and do it well. We saw
Ivory Coast as well.
And do it, even though they had it from hitches, but they all is well that ends well.
But they are still managing the crisis.
I hope all is well that ends well with the NFF, because come on, you can't appoint someone with the caliber and the clout of Finidi George. And we talked about the fact that he went to the flags friendly games without anybody, just a goalkeeping trainer. It was everything. It was a match that was assistant coach. Maybe, like I said, maybe the lack of respect for our local coaches, our domestic coaches, it could be the issue, because you don't appoint a manager before you discuss with him.
Absolutely. Let us not toe the way of the fecker foot. All right, let's move to the female side of our national team, talking about the Super Falcons. We are our #1 shotstopper, talking about no other person but goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie, African #1 goalkeeper, Nigeria #1 goalkeeper, and of lately the French Feminine League #1 shotstopper. We heard that yesterday she was awarded as the best goalkeeper for 2023-2024 season.
She also made the team of the league of the season as well.
Of course, she has to.
An absolute.
Unlike the Ballon d'Or, we are a goalkeeper.
Come on,
let's not go there.
We need to give kudos to Nadozie. I think she's one of the most improved players in the Super Falcons.
Absolutely.
The fact that she is on stead, you can see what he has done to us. And how well we did at the World Cup with her performance, saving a penalty against Christian Sinclair. How well we did as well in the qualifiers, girls to the Olympics as well. She's been a rock for the Super Falcons, and it has shown for our club in Paris FC. You can see how far they went in the Champions League, even dumping out Arsenal on the way. So
and Wolfsburg as well.
Absolutely. So it tells you where she is at the moment, and rightly so. You know, kudos have to go to her. She beat the likes of Eden Adler. Goalkeeper who kicked for Olympic Lyonnais, the French #1 goalkeeper. You know, it tells you what it means to get the nudge over such a goalkeeper with so much clout and caliber. So kudos to her, what she's doing. I'm really happy for Nadozie, and I hope that this form doesn't stop anytime soon.
And looking at the fact that she stopped 7 penalties so far this season, she is known as a penalty merchant, the shot stopper.
What she is to female football, what Ronald Williams is to men's football.
Wow, absolutely.
The guy is having fun in the PSL in South Africa, 7 penalties left, right, and center. And Nadozie is not disappointing her either way in her club there in France. So good one for her as well. And good one for Nigerian football.
True. And with that, she has stopped the most penalties in the entire season, both male and female. All right, let's continue on the story now, but this time let's come down to the Nigerian Premier Football League as the rescheduled game between the Bayelsa United and Rivers United in Yenegua actually was a bonkers. Bayelsa United secured a remarkable win against Rivers United in a rescheduled game played early this morning. The game was suspended on Monday evening due to heavy rain, and it was the host that was leading the game before the suspension. Kerison Okori put Bayelsa ahead in the 4th minute before Kazi Ezinaya leveled the game for the pride of Rivers. Muniru Abdurrahman netted the winning goal to hand Bayelsa United a well-deserved point. The league has been put on hold until Rivers United complete their outstanding matches.
Absolutely. A big one, must be sincere. What game it was. Yesterday, the game was abandoned due to a waterlogged pitch, excessive rainfall on the stadium. You could see the fact that the ball couldn't bounce anymore, and the center referee said, no, we can't continue. We'll continue the game the next morning. And thank God, the weather was quite better yesterday, and we saw what it is for us. So a good one for Bayelsa United. I think it's a fantastic win for them. It helps them in their chase for Premier League football come next season. But for Rivers United, they dent in their title aspiration. Don't forget, we told you that if they do win all their outstanding games, they could be in the picture for the title. And unfortunately, to lose against Bayelsa United, who are not seated well on the table, tells a lot of stories. So for me, kudos have to go again to Bayelsa for getting the result. But again, a big blow to Stanley Kuma and his lads as they chase not only the title but also continental football.
Sport Bishop, good news for table tennis right here in Nigeria and in Lagos, to be precise.
Before we leave the end of the
MPFL,
there is a big story coming from the MPFL. We hear that the Commissioner for Sport and Youth Development, Honorable Saka Yusuf Oguleye, has made new appointment to rescue Sunshine Stars from relegation. The former team manager of Sunshine Stars, Gabriel Oborowa, was appointed as technical director, while former Sunshine Stars head coach Henry Abiodun was appointed as technical consultant to the club. The commissioner says both appointments to join the technical team are set up earlier to reposition both Sunshine Stars and Sunshine, because this appointment is from immediate effect. As we speak to you, Sunshine Stars drops to 18 after Bayelsa United beat Rivers United by 2-1, and they're clutching on straws. The government wants them to remain in the league, and so those big major appointments were made yesterday, and we'll see whether they can help them save them from relegation.
And we hear that the resumption is with immediate effect.
Absolutely.
But not like the Super Eagles. That date was not given. I love to take swipes. Yeah. All right, away from that, let's quickly take this message from Augustina, all the way from Asokoro. She says, Bayern will take the day today in the UEFA Champions League. Though she didn't give us her scoreline, we hope that she sent a message to give us a scoreline concerning that game. Bayern Munich against Real Madrid. All right, let's move to the world of table tennis, as we hear that the world of table tennis has confirmed the 2024 World Table Tennis Contender Lagos will take place from June 17 to the 23rd of June in Nigeria. We hear that the Nigerian city will host the first of 3 WTT events scheduled to take place in Africa this year, and it will be the second edition of the event in Lagos. Now, the event director of the WTT Contender in Lagos, Dr. Kweku Tendo, believes Lagos' impressive hosting of the 2023 edition and the city another shot to host the best of table tennis players all across the globe. Big win for Lagos, bigger win for Nigeria.
Absolutely. It's good that we start hosting events as huge as this. Like I said, I was giving kudos to the Cricket Federation. I was giving kudos as well to the Rugby Federation. And I'm giving kudos as well down to the Table Tennis Federation. If we're going to bet new talent, if we're going to, regenerate new guys who would take up the range from the likes of Haruna Kwadi, Shagun Toriola. These are the tournaments we need to host. These are the tournaments we need to get up to speed with. So I'm really happy that we're hosting tournaments like this, and hopefully it gives a chance to the younger guys who can travel for tournaments like this to be part of a great tournament in this way.
Absolutely. Sport Bishop, for a moment, let's talk politics and sport, shall we?
Okay, let's go ahead.
The former Nigerian Football Federation president, Amaju Melvin Pinnick, has requested the federal government support as the tenure of his first tenure as member of a FIFA Council comes to an end, and wish to retain the seat in the next election. The be going down in May 2024. Now, the two times NFF president through the federation wrote to the Honorable Minister of Sports, Senator John Onwa, seeking the government support in his quest to retain the seat in the FIFA Council. Sport Bishop, I went and made a research on Amadou Spinach involvement, politics and football, and how Nigeria has benefited ever since he became a board member in a FIFA Council. In his tenure, we didn't host one AFCON. In his tenure, we didn't host any WAFCON. In his tenure, there was no under age grade competition. We hosted under 20, under 17, under 15. We didn't host anything, both male and female. We didn't host any CHAN event. We didn't host any WAFU event. And during his tenure, it was just. I put the just in parentheses, in quotation, just the Super Falcons that made us proud. We saw how we missed 2 AFCON tournaments under his regime. We missed going to the World Cup on 2 occasions under his regime. And now he's technically begging Nigerians through the federal government to help him retain his seat. And I want to ask, on what ground should Amadou return as a board member?
On the ground that he's Nigeria. Simple. If you leave, if you get the
Nigeria, but is it there on merit?
I got a snippet of that later. I got a quick peek. And he was pleading to the federal government using the Ministry of Youth and Sport to gather support. The election, like you said, is on May. He wants to retain his position in the FIFA Council. I think having a member in the FIFA Council gives us a voice there. You could argue that what has he done since he was there? Has it really been a voice for Nigeria?
Permit me to cut you short just for a moment, Sport Bishop. Yeah. Please permit me. When a certain Amos Adamu was there, we felt his impact, even though he was hoisted out of office unceremoniously. But at least we saw something. Under his tenure, we were able to host the world in the under-20 FIFA World, under-17 FIFA World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, where we finished second. Yeah. We also went far in AFCON during the 2008, 2010, 2012, and eventually we won it in 2013, as well as the WAFCON, where we won back-to-back 4 times in a row before we were dethroned by Ethiopia some years later. But then, I'm not dropping it because I am asking based on what we have achieved under his membership as FIFA member of council.
I think, see, if we look at the bidding process, I'm trying to be very systematic right now.
Okay.
Nigeria did not bid for any of these games. The only time we did bid, we complained. Are we ready to host the world? Remember, I asked that question due to insecurity and other things. But if we were willing to bid, to go for the bidding war, then we would have had a voice right there in the FIFA Council. But we did not. If you ask the NFF, they will tell you they're not ready to host anything at the moment. Not even the WAFU. Imagine, Nigeria didn't want to host the WAFU. So it tells you that it's not about Amaju Peng. It's about we having a voice. You see. And the closest person to having a voice in FIFA is Amaju Melvin Pellick.
Did he do that for us?
Oh, come on. He did that to his own best of abilities.
He only hosted Gian Infantino here in Nigeria, and there was Robin Mines, tete-a-tete, for his personal.
When last did the FIFA president drop down in Nigeria?
Well, it was under his tenure.
Absolutely.
But then you ask, what did his visit benefit us? The FIFA Goal project that we are clamoring, we need that to be investigated. What happened?
Come on. The Goal project is what you see in the national stadium. What else you want
to
see?
Okay.
You have the Goal project in Abuja. You have the Area 3 stadium.
All right.
Come on. You could argue that they are a bit dilapidated.
Oh, you say that.
You could argue.
You say that.
I think we need to support our own. I'm more or less interested in supporting our own because the reason why you see the North Africans are everywhere is because they support their own. You know, they always go ahead to give their own the support. Even in refereeing, officiating, they tend to they push their own referees, and that's why they get all the gigs in Africa, get the gigs in the FIFA. So as much as we could argue that what has he really done for our football, you brought out his resume about how well we didn't qualify for 2 World Cups, but I think for a while now we've not had anybody who has dared to go and vie for a seat in the FIFA Council, and he did that. He won that. And we want to give him the support to remain there at least for the next 10 or at least up until when someone else can come up and take up the baton from where he stopped. So for me, I think if you can get someone from Nigeria, it is welcomed and something that we should encourage. All
right. I think we have a message on WhatsApp, Sport Bishop. Do you want to read that for us?
Okay, this one is still from Asokoro Augustina. He says, for the fact that I deprived Bayern that last year as a Chelsea fan, we are behind Bayern 3-2. Bayern will take the lead. And this one says, good evening, guys. Franklin from Area 1. NFF appointing Finidi George without a clear contract is our usual way of disrespecting the local coaches. As you have this coach jump on these blind deals. To me, I'm not expecting much from NFF and Finidi. For Real Madrid and Bayern game, you all know the side of the divide I am on. This is the end of the road for Tuku and his boys. Thank you very much, Franklin, from Area 1.
All right, before we bow out from the local scene and go on our first official commercial break, let's touch down a basketball from the local scene because we hear that Rivers Hoopers have a touchdown at Dakar in Senegal for the 2024 Basketball African League. Sport Bishop, you want to tell us more on that?
Absolutely, they did arrive for that competition. Talking about Rivers Hoopers, they will be playing against US Monarch State, 2023 runners-up AS Douane and Rwanda champion APR. Those are the teams they will be playing. We hear that the first game at the Sahara Conference is on Saturday, the 4th of May. Recall that the Kingsmen secured some services of some young players to join up the Rivers Hoopers team. The likes of Divine, Eze, Kelvin Amayo, Joshua, John Watkins, Will Perry, Peter Olisemaka for the BAL. So we're hoping that for the first time we could record our first win. Don't forget, 2 Nigerian teams have been at the BAL. None has recorded a victory in that competition. Now they have arrived. They are ready. They are eager to go. They've made some good signing, and they're hoping that they can overpass US Monarch State, AS Douane, and Rwanda champions. That's APR. We heard they've arrived in Dakar, Senegal, for that championship. I talked about that championship. One team, talking about AS Douane of South Senegal, had the Minister of Sport, storm their camp and encourage them to ensure that they have a good outing at the Basketball African League.
A Minister of Sport, Nigeria, or
Minister of Sport, Senegal stormed the camp of So it seems like we see it here as a club game. Then we see it as something that requires the state to support them. So
wow.
I wish the minister had reached out to Rivers Super before they traveled. But this is telling you how important the ball is to Senegal and why basketball and club basketball is improving across the climb. So we'll wish our boys the best of luck. Hopefully in Dakar they get. My own is to get a win at least. It's sad that we've gone for 2 BAL and we have failed to record a victory in either of the competitions.
Just the way we have gone to the Olympics in basketball and we haven't won a single match in 3 different occasions. All right, let's go on our first official commercial break. When we return, we will be moving straight into the foreign scene. Sad news from the camp of Francis Ngannou as we hear that he lost his son. Now, we'll be talking more on that and the Champions League.
Absolutely.
Don't go nowhere. We will be right back. Good to know that you are still tuning and locked on to your sensational favorite radio dial, Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja. It's been a wet evening in the nation's capital, but of course, the sport team of VOP have been serenading you with amazing sports stories. My name still remains Franklin Imonat, the one you known as a fine boy, the sports chef, and I've got with me
the sport bishop, the sport magistrate, the pilot, the prophet, the professor, none so reigns a cheer. Like I said, we're heading to the foreign scene where we bring to you everything. Come on, sports, basketball, tennis, volleyball, table tennis. If it's foreign, I tell you, we've got you covered from A to Z.
We are still streaming live on our YouTube channel, VOP 96.1 FM Abuja. That is Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja. Do well to like, share, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get all the juicy sports stories, including past editions. You can go there to watch, share for your listening pleasure. You can still hook on to also on the show on the phone line at 070-0010-961-961, 070-0010-961-961. Do well to also drop your message. We will do well to read it and of course give you a voice. What's the topic? Simple. Are you comfortable with the appointment of a coach Finidi George by the NFF? And do you think the NFF have set him for failure following his appointment without a contract, without a duration of contract, as well as his assistant, everything in between? Are you confident that he is the best man for the job? And also, in the UEFA Champions League, Bayern Munich will be up against Real Madrid. It is the battle of Hurricane and Jude Bellingham. Somebody says, scratch that, Uncle Fine Boy. It is the battle of Vinicius Jr. and Serge Gnabry. Somebody said, no, it is Upamecano and Rudiger. We want to know your take. Who do you think will draw first blood? Come on, let's go to the foreign scene. All right, so we begin from the foreign scene with this sad news from our own fellow African and a former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, as he lost his 15-month-old son to the cold arms of death. Sport Bishop, he said on his tweet on his X handle, he said he went to his room, he called his name, he shouted his name, but there was no response. As at yesterday, he was like both himself and his son, they were playing catching up father and son, only for him to lose him to the cold arms of death. How sad can this be?
Come on, I could see the epistle he wrote down on his X handle. It was indeed shocking and really emotional for a man who we all know not to be the emotional guy, being the hard guy who knocks down people, But come on, wow, it's not something we want to hear in the world of sports. This guy has done well in mixed martial arts. He's had a stake in boxing as well. He's an icon in sports in general, and he brings a glimmer of hope to sport fans and people who believe they can become what they want to become in Africa. So sad that his son had to go, 15 months on, a big blow. I just hope his head will be in the right place because he's got to fight later next month in the MMA, return back to the mixed martial art. But it's so sad to hear that a man of so much passion about sport, so much, someone who has brought sport to the next level, to be talking so down. You need to see those. You need to go to his ex handle and read out how he felt about when he couldn't get his son to speak to him. So sad. Wish his family the fortune to bear the loss, and hopefully we hope they are being comforted at this trying time in their lives.
We hope that they stay strong, because it is not easy losing a loved one, especially a child of that age, just 1 year and 3 months, 15 months. It is sad indeed. We hope that the Lord gives the family of Ngannou the fortitude to bear this loss. And with that, we move to the Spanish La Liga as Barcelona had to rally run from a 2-1 trailing to win Valencia and continue their chase over Real Madrid en route to winning the Spanish La Liga. Hat-trick hero Robert Lewandowski was full of praise for himself.
Absolutely. That guy, Davili, what a man he's become. An absolute gem, an absolute player, you know. The goalkeeper got a red card, the captain of the team, and then you know what happened for Valencia? From 2-1 down, it became 4-3. They gave good account of themselves up onto that red card, but these things happen in sports. For Lewandowski, he rolled back the years of hat-trick, like you said. 4-2 it was. It was at the start of that game, there were 14 points. Madrid leaders, Real Madrid, and now it's 11. But we all know they're just delaying the how they put it on the darkest day when Madrid will be crowned champion, and that's what it is. What it is, but so sad, really so sad. And Barcelona, they got the job, and it's good at least. You know, we just heard the coach has got a U-turn in Xavi Hernandez, so maybe that win could be what his team need to kickstart a run of form that they could take to the next season.
All right, talking about taking form to the next season, I can tell you for a fact that one man, Cristiano Ronaldo, is not informed, as he's not in the form among the most intellectually gifted players, both academically and technically on the field of play. We hear that a recent study conducted by Football 365 gave out the list of intellectually gifted players as well as players who used to carry first in class, and Cristiano Ronaldo was not mentioned among those players. Those players include Frank Lampard. We also have a certain Dennis Beckham, Socrates, who plays for Brazil, who played for Brazil, I beg your pardon. A certain Simeon Mignolet surprisingly made the court. Peter Cech also there, and a certain Giorgio Chiellini also there. But Ronaldo, they said he no notebook, so he wasn't part of the top intellectually and academically gifted players in the world of football.
My brother, football is not food. It's not education. We've seen the best players. It's good to see that some players also took school to the next level. Back to Frank Lampard, but there are some players,
Marcus Rashford, MBE. Come on, it's true.
Come on, but there are those who took their foot, you know, and use their legs to do great stuff, like Lionel Messi, like Cristiano Ronaldo, like Neymar Jr., Ronaldinho. They may not be the most educated of players, but they showed themselves.
Matthew Flamini.
They showed their intelligence. Flamini is one of these.
The richest, not one of he's the richest footballer.
Absolutely, because of his business acumen.
Of course.
His life after football. You see, I didn't have to go to school, so it is what it is, my brother. I'm really happy for the players who have made a life of themselves out of school. But I love the fact that some players understand there's life after school, and they believe they may not be in that footballing arena for so long, and then decide to improve in their education system. So I'm happy for them, really happy for them. But at the end of the day, football is about what you do with your legs, your head, and your body. And it's a very short career.
As Sport Bishop, for a moment, I was surprised why a certain Sheyi Olofinjana was not included in this list, rather. Ever since he gave up playing football, he had to go back to school.
Absolutely.
He had 4 master's degrees and 2 PhD degrees. That is the last time I made a research on this player.
Yeah.
But then I'm surprised he didn't make the court, or perhaps
well,
he
didn't play at the level of Dennis Beckham.
Another angle to it.
At the level of you know.
But he played in the AFCON. 2 AFCONs actually.
Come on, man. Let's come on. We know you played at the AFCON. I won 2 bronze medals. But come on. The level of the players we just called Joelini. These are World Cup winners. These are Euro winners. These are players who have won everything in the world of sports, and that's why maybe he's not been mentioned. But kudos to Olofinjana as well,
of course,
for doing us proud as well in the educational.
You know me, I'm a patriotic journalist. I love to sing praises of our own. And talking about singing praises, Sport Bishop, if you're set, come on, let's go to where it will be going down later tonight. It is all about the UEFA Champions League. If you are a Chelsea fan, Manchester United fan, please close one part of your ears, because this part of the show is not for you. And somebody said, fine boy. Another person said, Sport Bishop, when will this anthem be played in the Stamford Bridge? And I told him, just be patient. Allow the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to finish his tenure before we start talking about this anthem in the Stamford Bridge.
I think the big question is not when. The question is, the answer is clear. Not next season. I think that's the best answer to give, not next season. Because, come on, man, this is the la creme de la creme of club football.
Absolutely.
The best of club football, they gather, they fight. And, wow. This shot, the men are separated from the boys. That's why you have the Conference League and the Europa League to participate in.
If you have not played in the UEFA Champions League in your football career, you haven't played football. One man is banking on luck. He says we need luck against Real Madrid for us to win. Coach of Bayern Munich, Thomas Tuchel, is begging on the gods of football. I said, please favor us. And he came out also to say that Bayern are ready for extraordinary Jude Bellingham. I don't know the mind game that Coach Thomas Tuchel is playing, saying that it's all about Jude Bellingham, but take your eyes away from Vinicius Jr. You will definitely pay for it. Sport Bishop, tonight, it's all about the most successful team in German football against the most successful team in the history of the Champions League.
Like you said, it looks like a battle between a certain Jude Bellingham and, of course, a certain Harry Kane, the English duo. But to be realistic, it's beyond these two. There's some quality players in Bayern Munich. We heard that Jamal Musiala is back with the team. He's back in training. Good future. We hear that some players are also back with the team for Bayern Munich. They would future Leroy Sané. Madrid has got everybody. Unfortunately, there's nobody out except Thibaut Courtois. Eder Militao has returned, so they've got a chunk of the players in Madrid. So let's brace up for an encounter. For Jude Bellingham, he's having a fantastic season. 21 goals scored, 10 assists in 36 games. He's been fantastic for his team, especially even in the Champions League, where he has not put a foot wrong. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 8 games he's played so far in the Champions League. But if you move down to a team like Harry Kane, Harry Kane has scored 42 goals in all competition, more than his highest in a season where he's hit 41 for
Tottenham Hotspur
in 2020. Harry Kane also is the second highest goal scorer in the Champions League. He has scored 7. The only player who has scored more than him is certain
Kylian Mbappe,
who has hit 8 as well. And if you're looking at his stats, come on, you could argue that this guy is in a world of his own. 10 Champions League matches, 7 goals, 3 assists. The boy is having fun. If you look at the games they played in the past 7 knockout meetings against Real Madrid, they've drawn 1 and lost 6. And Bayern Munich will be hoping to change that narration. They will be hoping to change that, that history and then cause themselves to go far in this one. But before we move forward, come on, that seems that come on, but it seems the calls are pouring. Anyway, before I rest my case, I'll let you know that a certain Robert Lewandowski scored 41 goals. If you look at it in the Bundesliga with 3 games left, but this man has scored 35 goals in the German top flight with 6 games left, meaning he can still break the jinx. It is doable, it is possible, and everything good seems to come from Harry Kane, and that's why they rely on him, same as Jude Bellingham. So it's going to be, as much as it's beyond Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane, but it's indeed a battle. Like you did say, Rudiger, Upamecano, Ancelotti versus Thomas Tuchel. And don't forget, both managers are former winners of these titles.
But one is most successful, and the other one was just by the way winner with Chelsea.
When you win, you win. It's nothing like by the way. When you win a trophy, man, you need to be given the accolade.
Okay.
You take a Chelsea team that did not finish in the top 4 to win the Champions League.
Oh wow.
And beat a Manchester City team.
Oh wow.
You need to write a book about it.
That's because the god of football was with Chelsea.
We'll wait and see where the god of football lies tonight when they face at the Allianz Arena.
1 win in the last 5 meetings for Bayern Munich against Real, of course, against Bayern Munich. So we'll see how this one pans out later tonight. Keep your calls coming, keep your comments coming, as well as your take. Send it or call us on 070 0010 961 961. 961 070 Also, games will be going down still in the UEFA Champions League, but this time it will be later tomorrow. When we return tomorrow, we will talk more about that, talking about the game between Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
Away from the Champions League, let's touch down tennis as we hear that the game between Iga Swiatek and her opponent, talking about Beatrice Haddad, ended in favor of Iga Swiatek. A top seed Iga Swiatek fought back to defeat Beatrice Haddad Maya to book a place in the Madrid Open semi-finals with just 68 minutes of play. It took Swiatek 2 hours and 30 minutes to wrap up a 6-4, 6-love, 6-2 win against the Brazilians. This was the first time the world number one dropped a set in the tournament. The big question is, who can stop Iga Swiatek?
It could be Hadamia. She plays her next in the last 8. Don't forget, Iga Swiatek beat Sarah Sobri 6-1, 6-love. Hadamia beat Sakari 6-4, 6-4. And then we still have Anjoboa as well in that competition. She beat Jelin Ostapenko in straight set 6-love, 6-4. So there are some names who can stop her, but right now she's world number one. The lady who stopped her the last time out when they met, I'm talking about Sabalenka, is also in this competition as well. So it's not as if it's she has the, let's say, the momentum because she's world number one. I love the female tennis competition where it's all about what you play on match day. You don't play up, you don't step up to speed. You see a qualifier come and knock you out. We've seen that happen before. So wait and see. She's favorite, but there are still some top competitors left in the Madrid Open.
All right, let's move away from the Madrid Open for a moment and talk tennis as we hear that a British double player Tara Moore has made a return to the sport after a 2-year absence for a doping ban, which was later overturned. Moore teamed up with a compatriot Annali Olivier to win an ATF World Tour first-round match on the Italian island of Sardinia. Can we say welcome back, or I wouldn't call them the world, okay, of course, the world anti-doping test overturning a ban, and she's back to playing tennis. When will Blessing Okaware's ban be overturned? When?
She's got how many years? How many years ban?
10 years ban.
Wow.
10 years.
Wow.
And she was banned about 2 years ago, so she has about 8 years to serve.
So you expect her to run?
They can reduce the ban now. Come on, it can be reduced. All right, so let's come back to the Madrid Open, but this time let's stick with the male as Rafael Nadal is into the last 16 of the Madrid Open after a hard-fought victory against Argentina Pedro Chachin. The Spaniard, who is 37 years, came through 6-1, 6-7, 5-7, 6-3 after 3 hours and 6 minutes on court.
I think it was a tough game. Nobody thought Pedro Chachin would take Rafa Nadal 3 hours to win, but it is what it is. The good thing is that he's been just returning from injury back to the court. He got the job done. So he will play Jerry Lechek of Czech Republic next in that competition. But we still know that a certain Medvedev is still there.
Carlos Alcaraz is there.
Absolutely. Medvedev beat American Sebastian Korda 5-7, 7-6, 6-5. In that competition. Not forgetting Jannik Sinner. He remains on course for his 4th title for 2024 after he solved Russian Pavel Kotov 6-7-5. So there are still some big campaigners left in the competition. But Rafa Nadal, playing at home, his final Madrid Open, he want to end with a bang, and that's what we'll wait. I hope he wins, but there's a certain Carlos Alcaraz who doesn't take. Who takes no prisoners in this type.
And for Rafael Nadal, he has technically passed the torch of tennis to his fellow Spaniard.
Did he pass the torch or he snatched the torch?
He actually passed it. He's a young man. I think you're up next after I'm done playing tennis. Let's talk about NBA for a moment before we move over to combat sport. We hear that LeBron James in the Western Conference in the 5th game of the best-of-7 series, defending champions, the Nuggets won a tense encounter by 108 to 106. It was all about Jamal Murray, who scored 32 points, including the winner with just 3.6 seconds left when the score was tied.
James had a great game, 30 points, 11 assists, but his team has been dumped out automatically. We hear in the other games in the Western Conference, Oklahoma State Thunder progressed to the last 8. They won 97-89 over the New Orleans Pelicans, setting Jalen Williams with 24 points, Gilgeous Alexander with 24 points, and they went into a clean sweep 4-0 for them. Okay, in the Eastern Conference, we have Boston Celtics edge closer to the next round. They've taken a 3-1 lead against the Miami Heat. I tell you, they won the fourth game 102-88, a big win for them. So it looks like we now know some are done and dusted. The Pelicans have been dumped out. The Thunders are through. The Lakers have been dumped out. The Denver Nuggets are through. Today we have the Knicks taking on the 76ers. The Knicks get a victory. They are through. The Cleveland Cavaliers are playing the Magic. That one is tied at 2-2. And the Bucks get a victory. If the Pacers get a victory, they will dump out the Bucks in that one. But the Bucks are home in this encounter. The Celtics will take on the Heat. That game is on Thursday. And the Clippers versus the Mavericks as well. So it's starting up, it's shaping up. The Lakers are through to this out. The